like this song.
It's a vintage banger. Kojo, I think our grandparents probably twerked to this tune back in the day.
What a horrible mental illness. I do wonder sometimes, though, whether our parents and grandparents were just like us in our youth, you know?
Yes, I wonder. Do you think they also scaled walls to go to parties on Friday nights?
That was just you, anyway. Only your youth was like a scene out of Prison Break. But you certainly said it right, though. Some people say scale over when they simply mean scale.
Well, that's true. The word scale has almost a dozen applications, but in this context, it means to climb over a high structure like a wall or a mountain.
Yes, it describes the act of climbing over something. So there's no need to add the word over when you use it.
Okay, go on then.
Oh, with what?
I know you want to tell us the Latin origins of the word.
Oh, that's right. Okay, if you insist. The word scale originates from the Latin word scala, which means ladder or staircase. The originating verb is scandere, which means to climb. Incidentally, scandere is also the origin verb for the word scan.
Oh, fascinating. And they say Latin is a dead language.
So, language never dies on Say It Right.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, Weezy, when are you coming back? What's this? Watch it.
Oh, maybe another month or two.
Churchill is having a heart attack here. Churchill, can you handle another month without
sooner than you think.
My spirit tells me she'll be here in this month.
In this particular month, yes, within which you are standing.
Exactly.
Exactement. Okay. Weezy, you heard the Batakari Bishop.
It has spoken. Yeah.
All right, let's catch up.
Say amen.
Amen. All right then, later.
Have a great show, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, okay. So it's time for the news review, brought to you by First Atlantic Bank, Refreshingly Different, and Enterprise Life. No matter the season, Enterprise Life is here to give you solutions that guarantee you the best advantage in life. So go on, live your life, and dream big with Enterprise, your advantage.
All right, so let's get into the papers, Kojo, and we're starting with the Daily Graphic. Seek permits before construction. Yana urges developers, and President opens 75 greenhouse farms, similar facilities up in Akomadan and Bojase. Business proposals flood one district, one factory secretariat. And back page of the Daily Graphic says, Tema to have new fecal treatment plant, and Energy Commission to introduce 7-star ratings on electrical appliances.
Okay, so a big boost for vegetable production. Ghana gets largest greenhouse farm in, what is WA?
West Africa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is the largest greenhouse farm in West Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Why couldn't I think West Africa when I saw it? I kept thinking it was like a region, one of our regions.
You're not in the spirit.
Western Ahafo. Oh,
I told you, I
am not in the spirit today. West Africa. All right. Okay, there you go. Also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times this morning, government to support SSGL to undertake nationwide sewage project. Over 50 shops owned by foreigners closed down. Our report actually said over 100. NDC, we don't trust EC to compile credible voter register. Well, what else is new? I've got the back page as well of the Ghanaian Times. Sanitation Ministry donates vehicles for refuse collection and water supply. And the minister is there in that photograph. Also, scrap tax on sanitary pads. Hope for future generations, urges government.
Right, so the Daily Guide says President opens largest greenhouse estate, 86.1 million for armored cars, and Rollins didn't like Amidu as a running mate. Of course, you know that the source of that story.
Oh, yes. Working with Rollins.
Working with Rollins by Pamela Ahoy.
The epic book.
Charlie, that book, yeah, it caused troubles. And Senior Minister tours Lavender Hale. And finally on the front page, you can't trap Mahama with a baby. Actress spills beans.
Hey. Which actress?
I think that should be. Come to the photograph of Tracy Boache, John Mahama, and Gloria Kani. I haven't been following that particular story.
Interesting.
So I've seen lots of live IG live and Facebook live with Two ladies saying all manner of things. I haven't followed. So.
How do they know what you can and cannot trap Muhammad?
I don't know. I haven't followed that.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. The New Weekend Crusading Guide has ex-auditor's lies against UPSA VC falls flat as evidence expose his claims as bogus. Also on the front page, Akufo-Addo commissions 75 greenhouses to boost local vegetable farming. Equiapim chiefs hail outgoing Equiapim North MCE. Bono Public Institute Lords Electoral Commission for successfully organizing voters registration exercise. Government will support SSGL to replicate waste treatment plants. That's according to the Senior Minister Osafo Mafo. And Chairman Divine Agohom pleads for forgiveness. This is the Tema Traditional Council's situation where they got very angry over this Carlos Ahinkra thing.
Okay, so the Chronicle says that's Proverbs 15 verse 5. A fool despises his father's instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is prudent. So this is the story.
I wonder.
Maybe I grow up if you're not in
Oh.
Okay, I'll skip that one first. Anyway. So Carlos begs Tema chiefs for forgiveness. That's not the one I'm going to share with you. I'll get to that shortly.
Okay.
Choose and pay Kwamina could be in the ditch, and Akufo-Addo outdoors NEIP's 75 Greenhouse and Innovation Center. Parliament approves 86 million to purchase armored vehicles. But
give me the quote again.
It says, a fool despises his father's instruction, but whoever heeds reproof is prudent.
Okay, let's hear the headline.
30 Ghanaian women in captivity in Iraq. Their passports seized, made to work like robots. You know the story about people traveling to the east, towards the Gulf region, and being made to work like slaves. Some of them become like sex toys and all of that.
Why are people still lining up to do that? Because there are still people, agents so-called, who come along and try to recruit people for such an endeavor, and they get people to go. Do they not watch the news? Do they not? Are they not on social media?
Coach, they do it. I mean, they can always come in and give you all the promises. Sometimes they tell you, we've taken this person there, we've taken that person there. We can assure you of one thing: you wouldn't experience what you've experienced what you've heard in the media. But the thing is, these people do it in the open. The recruitments are done. They announce. You see, posters all over the place. Want to work in the Gulf region? Come, and then we take you there. But that also tells us one thing. We can always say, and I know later on we have this conversation. The chicken and egg situation.
Yeah.
Yes, we certainly should ensure. We should ensure that when we're taking these risks, we do a bit of assessment. But not everybody can do assessment. What that also tells you is the nature of your economy. What that tells you is the nature of your social welfare system.
Yeah.
Because if your citizens prefer to leave your country and go and suffer just to make money, it tells you that for many people, they do not trust Ghana as the place where the country's system, welfare system, will take care of them.
Indeed.
So it's something we have to look at critically.
It's a direct feed into the chicken and egg conversation.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get into that. So that's it for the Chronicle.
I'll do the finder. Banner headline: President unveils 4,000-ton greenhouse. It'll produce tomatoes worth 11 million Ghana cedis annually. Yeah, I'd love to see the site of 11 million Ghana cedis worth of tomatoes. That would be a lot of red. Wow. Okay, Ghanaians should reject Mahama's deceitful promises. That's Samuel Koo speaking. New register, EC saved 173 million Ghana cedis, cut bloating, reduced minors and foreigners. That's according to the EC chair. MTN records over 1 billion Ghana cedis profit after tax in 2019. It's good to be an MTN shareholder. And I'll never denigrate Kufuor's legacy. That's according to Pius Hajid. That does it for the finder.
Right. So let's get to the Business and Financial Times. And depositors worried over 115 million staff-aided bank fraud. So we're talking about mobile money fraud today. And this says 50.5 million in cyber fraud, 38 million in fraudulent withdrawals and forgery of documents, and 10.9 million in ATM POS fraud. Not a good one. Akufo-Addo outdoors NEIP tease greenhouse project. Government will support SSGL to replicate waste treatment plants nationwide, or SAFO MAFO. And back page, Dalex Finance donates towards UG's 20 campaign. And the Ghanaian Observer for today, the Ghanaian Observer says Samia Oku exposes why Mahama cannot fulfill his promises. Bawumia hails mobile money interoperability, says 15 million Ghanaians have bank accounts. Anyway,
how many?
15 million
Ghanaians have bank accounts.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know the promise he made that to make sure every Ghanaian has a bank account.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll never attack.
So he's halfway there.
He's halfway there.
Okay.
I think he gave himself a target. We're gone past that target. But so on that note, you can say that he didn't fulfill that promise, or he was unable to fulfill it. I'll attack Kufuor's legacy, Pius Hajide. Hey, I'll never attack Kufuor's legacy. That's Pius Enam Hajide. Yeah. And Akufo-Addo commissions biggest greenhouse village, and government to back SSGL to replicate waste treatment plant. Senior Minister. Finally, the Daily Statesman, Awuku, says you can't trust indecisive Mahama with Ghana's destiny. Big push for a Greek modernization. President commissions West Africa's biggest greenhouses. And NPP unveils manifesto launch committee. They're launching the manifesto on the 22nd of August in Cape Coast. I'm told the NDC will also be launching their manifesto on the 29th of August. So that will set the tone for the elections. But back page, you know Jadon Sancho. You know him? Jadon Sancho.
Pocho.
No, he doesn't play for Swansea United.
That's why I know. Swansea City. Swansea City. Is he a Manchester United fan? So you think everybody's United?
The team's name doesn't even ring a bell. So he plays for Borussia Dortmund, and he plays for the English national team also. And so says Borussia Dortmund's winger happy to play with clubs special young players. And Mesut Ozil says he will stay at Arsenal until contract ends in 2021.
Okay, let's do the online review. It's brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. I'll tell you a bit about what Goyle is up to. They now have set it up so that you can use your GH Link card on their point-of-sale machines to buy fuel and lubricants. This is brilliant, okay, because what it means is that every time you buy fuel, it will be recorded on your monthly bank statement so you can track and manage your expenses. You can never say Goyle never gave you anything. So go ahead, use your GH Link card to buy fuel and all lubricants from any of Goyle's over 400 stations across Ghana. Go cashless and protect yourself and stick to all the COVID-19 protocols in these times. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara Yenzi.
All right, could you let's get into the online stories. And my Joy Online says Akufo-Addo dismisses ASEPA's petition to impeach EC Chair Jean Mensah. I'll share the statement with you from the presidency to ASEPA, but it talks about the fact that the Shraj did not find anything wrong with her. They said, well, she should have declared her assets at the time of assuming office, and so there's no prima facie evidence against it. But Akufo-Addo must fire Zongo Development Fund CEO over alleged procurement breaches, according to Edward Barr. If we get to citynewsroom.com, says let's exhaust internal mechanisms to clean register before external audit, and that's according to Kodeo. And guess what? One thing I know you'll be interested in, Kojo, and it says that government to reconstruct central medical stores by end of 2020, and that's according to the Health Minister Kweku Ajiman menu there. So
let me ask you something. Do you reckon that's good news?
Is that good news?
So I'll try and contextualize it. So somebody or some people went ahead and burnt down the central medical stores and everything in it. Millions and millions of dollars worth of life-saving drugs and medical supplies burnt to a crisp. People were identified as having been the culprits. People were identified by an investigation. Not a one of them has been prosecuted. Not a peswa of the money we lost, most of it being donor funds, not a peswa of it has been retrieved. But we're about to spend the taxpayers' money to rebuild it, to rebuild the stores. I don't know how I feel about it. I wonder how much have we suffered without that central medical stores for the God knows how many years that we've not had it. Over 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. How much have we suffered as a nation? Should I jubilate that we are going to spend more money to replace something that we haven't been able to properly seek justice over its loss? I don't know how I feel.
Anyway, let me just get to CNN. It says, inside the multi-billion-dollar vaccine race.
Okay.
Researchers across the globe are gunning for a breakthrough, but saving the world from a pandemic is far from simple. And you can trust CNN to give you an opinion piece on Joe Biden picking, Senator Harris. That says Harris throws Trump off balance.
Donald Trump did, take to Twitter to throw a few jabs at the person that he once supported to run for office. But anyway.
The thing about Donald Trump is that he appeals to a certain majority you never see or hear from.
It's funny.
Yeah, he has a way.
It's funny.
He has a way of doing things.
First of all, let's be fair. It's not the majority. It's the electoral college that got him into the presidency. Yeah. So it's not the majority, but it is a large group of people, large enough to win him the presidency. So,
the point is when it comes to the American election, of course, I mean the electoral college would always get you. Al Gore also had a lot more in the popular votes, but still lost there.
Yes.
And that's how come there are some persons who called for amendments to ensure that it becomes a popular vote. I'm not sure they would want to change that. They've been doing this for some time now.
Hey, it is some people's only way into the Oval Office. I don't think they want it, scrapped. Anyway, we've got more to talk about. We need to figure out this chicken and egg situation when it comes to indiscipline. Whose job is it now to solve the problem? Is it the people? Should we sit around and wait for the people's attitudes to change? Or should we expect action from those who are mandated to enforce our laws and make it unpalatable for people to demonstrate indiscipline that costs us all, sanitation problems, traffic issues, corruption, all of these things. How do we stop it? Should we wait for the people to just stop on their own? Or should somebody take the bull by the horns? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Mumu. And we will also bring you back the best bits from last night.
Yes, but there's also a surprise on the show this morning.
You're right. Somebody will be stopping by. Someone special. Anyway, right now it's time for the BBC News. It's brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us. And it follows these important messages.